Ever wondered how the top 5 longest ruling dictators in Africa have stayed in power for so long? Video will uncover their persistent rule and question the West's possible role in sustaining these regimes. We'll highlight the strong leadership, the West's purported double standards, and the conspiracy that supports these leaders. This video will also touch on the allegations of the West's indirect involvement. Stay with us to learn more about these dictators and the claimed Western duplicity and participation. Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo from Equatorial Guinea tops our list. Since 1979, his rule has been firm. But what is the expense? Corruption allegations, human rights violations, and economic mismanagement tarnish his reign. His nation is rich in oil, yet many languish in poverty. This is in sharp contrast to Mbasogo's opulence. More news on Cameroon, a nation known as Cameroon. Nestled in Central Africa, Cameroon is a country rich in cultural diversity, vibrant traditions, and an abundance of natural resources. It's a land of rolling hills, bustling markets, and the quiet strength of its people. From this captivating land, we find a man named Paul Biya at the helm of the nation's leadership. Biya, a figure of significance and the subject of international interest, has held the reins of Cameroon's government since the year 1982. His rule, spanning over 3 decades, has been a subject of much intrigue and debate. Despite the passage of time, Paul Biya's reign continues, making him one of the world's longest-serving leaders. More news on Cameroon, we find Paul Biya, who has been in charge since the year 1982. Diving deeper into Paul Biya's rule, we uncover a critical aspect that has marked his tenure: his actions against the Ambazonians. The Ambazonians, a group from the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, have been fighting for their freedom and independence for years. Amidst their struggle, allegations have surfaced of Biya's administration engaging in a ruthless, and some would argue, illegal genocide war against these people. These claims have sparked international outrage, leading to calls for investigations and sanctions. Yet despite the uproar, the conflict persists, adding another layer to the complexities of Biya's controversial leadership. In our final scene, we spotlight Denis Sassou Nguema, a figure rooted deep in the heart of Africa, in the Republic of Congo. A place of astonishing biodiversity and abundant natural resources, it is however blighted by the specter of political instability. Nguema's reign, starting from 1979 with a brief pause in the 90s, has been a significant era of political turmoil. His governance presents a compelling case of power dynamics, laden with controversies and noteworthy for its longevity. Some perceive him as a beacon of stability, whereas others criticize him for his assumed authoritarianism. Nguema's regime is a contentious yet enduring chapter. Enter Scene 6, Western Involvement. The Western powers, chiefly the United States and European countries, have regularly put their financial and political agendas ahead of advocating for democracy and human rights in the nations of Africa. Their tactical partnerships with totalitarian rulers, disguised as international policy, have generally approved of the standing regime. The aftermath of these relationships has frequently assisted these leaders in maintaining their strict governance. This involvement of Western powers, whether through direct participation or quiet approval, has usually reinforced the prevailing system, allowing these leaders to continue their stringent. Undeniably, the emergence and persistent dominance of these dictators wasn't an isolated phenomenon. The narrative is deeply entwined with the objectives of the West, shedding light on their contribution in upholding these regimes. The query raised is crucial. With their bountiful territories, these dictators have frequently served as suitable allies for the West. Overlooking severe human rights violations, regimes have suppressed democratic values, instilling eras of fear. Such support from the West mirrors a stark contradiction of their proclaimed ideals. It compels us to reassess our perceptions of democracy and human rights, and ponder upon the real beneficiaries of these enduring dictatorships. As we conclude, let's have a moment to reflect on these pressing